Aaron speaking here, real estate agent in Alberta. We're gonna talk about 5 things that might help you during the buying process, right? In 1942, Albert Einstein was giving a final tax to his classes. And he walked away from the class, was talking to another professor in the coffee shop, having his time. And the professor said, well, isn't it the same test that you did last year? Yep, that's exactly the same, but the answers have changed. So that's the same with real estate, right? We are buying things, at least trying to buy, but the rules are different from 3 years ago, and the mindset is different, and the market is different, right? So we gotta be careful when we are planning to buy our house. There are few things here and there that I see most of the time that people are not ready sometimes for the journey, right? So I'll talk about 5 things that I think will help you during the process. We have been buying houses, like we bought 3, 4, 5 houses last week, and we got it, but I had to prep my buyers and everything, and it is the same. We need to be ready for the journey. We don't just go there and try to do as we go, right? So I'll talk about 5 things that I'm positive will help you a little bit. Some of them you might not like, but that's life, and those are just my opinion, right? So let's see. I hope it helps. So the first thing is financial situation. You gotta have your financing order, and most of the time people think that's just pre-approval. Oh, I have my pre-approval already. Okay. Did you mention that you are on probation? Oh, I'm still on probation time. I have 1 more month for completing the probation, so then they'll need an extra pay stub or things like that. I have a RSP that I'm gonna use, okay, but that's locked. And when can I use this money? Oh, okay, let's see that. Oh, I have some money in stocks and I have some money in crypto, and I might use that. Okay, when is the money gonna be available? So those details, they make a deal break apart, all right? Because sometimes you are counting on RSP and that's gonna be locked. Sometimes you are counting that you are pre-approved, but you didn't mention that you just switched jobs and we still have a little bit of time for the lender to qualify you again. So those things they're very important, more than just pre-approval, right? Pre-approval is one thing, but make sure when you're talking to a mortgage broker, you open your heart, okay? You don't need to talk about past relationships, but tell everything that you think might affect the buying power or the deal or whatever. Just tell. I might have a raise in my salary. I might have a cut in my salary. I might have to use the RSP, but it's locked for 2 months. So just tell everything, and then you're going to be in a better position, right? So the second thing that I would mention is, and I know people don't like that very much, but if you are pre-approved for 500, you should not shop around for 500k houses, because chances are, because you are in competition, you're gonna pay a little bit more sometimes, right? We don't know, but most of the time you'll pay a little bit more. So if you are pre-approved for 500, aim lower, and then if you love the house and you are in competition, you can go a little bit higher, okay? So that helps a little bit. I know you're gonna feel that okay, I'm buying a cheaper house and things like that, and overpaying, but that's just the reality of the market. You don't need to go extreme lower, but go a little bit lower, and you'll be able to find a house, and if you're in competition, you still have a room to negotiate, right? So that's the second one. So the first one is the financing place. The second one, aim lower a little bit. And the third one, people hate that, but that's the reality too. So you don't try to squeeze a deal out of buying a house, right? Most of the time I see people that they love the house is great, they're gonna live there for, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years, and they're trying to squeeze 5k out of the deal in a market like that. That's a seller market, right? So I know if you can save money, why not, right? But again, if that's the house that you loved, that's the house that you feel you're gonna stay for a long time, that 5 or 10 or even 15K, sometimes you're not gonna feel that in your mortgage payment. You're not gonna feel that on the long run, and you're gonna have equity on the time. You're gonna have the appreciation of the house. There are a few things that will be in your favor, right? So I'm not saying just go there and pay whatever you want, but whatever they want actually, right? But if you have the budget and that's the house you're looking for, let's go for it, right? You don't need to squeeze a deal on the negotiation, right? You can have that return later on, right? That's one thing. And the fourth thing that we think buyers should be aware when they're trying to buy a house is, well, how can I build equity on that house, right? That's more important than squeezing a deal, actually, because you are, let's say you are paying rent right now, right? You're not building equity on this rent, okay? If you move to a house, you'll be building equity as you pay. That's one thing. But the other thing is, can I make another room on this house? Can I finish the basement on that house? What about landscaping? Is it terrible? Can I upgrade or improve that somehow? What about new improvements in the house? Maybe painting or whatever. So doesn't have a garage, but can I build a garage on a house like that? So those things to me are more important than just getting the house for the 5K or 10K or whatever price you're looking for, because you can build equity overnight, depends on the situation of the house, right? So let's say you're buying a house that is a huge lot but doesn't have a garage. You can build a garage and you can make a nice patio and you can improve the landscaping. I bet that house is already in a better position to make money, all right? So of course you're not going to do anything overnight. That's just an example, but on the time that you'll be living on that house, let's say I'm planning to live on the next 10 years or whatever, we will be able to bring equity besides just doing the payment, right? Because we'll be doing the payments for your mortgage. That helps. Besides that, what else can you do? Oh, that house only has one bathroom. Can you make another one? Is there a space for that? So there are situations that you think you're overpaying the house, but actually you are not, because there are so many things that you can do to improve the house, right? And the other one is, I always think about life-changing situation. Might be because I have had some of that. Okay, so let's say you're buying a house right now and you're feeling that I'm not sure if I'm overpaying, I'm not sure if the house is worth it and things like that and whatever. One way out would be, okay, I'm gonna buy that house, I'm gonna move in, I lose my job next month. Can I move out of the house, rent it out, and be cash flow positive? At least, it doesn't have to make a lot of money, but it has to be cash flow positive. Because if you can do that, you still have a good asset, right? You have now investment property, right? And you can figure things out later, right? So if you can do that, that's safe. That's safe enough that you can move in and be ready for whatever it comes, right? So if you stay in the house, that's the best situation ever. But if you are moving out and that pays itself, it's not a burden on you, you can deal with that later, right? So those 5 things would be able to guide you through buying a house right now. Yeah, so in summary, if you have your finance in place, right? If you don't max out your pre-approval, if you don't try to squeeze a deal, like going lower just for the sake of going lower in an offer, if you think about building equity, building some improvement or making some improvement in the house, and if you see this as investment property, like at least it's cash flow positive and things like that, I think you are in a safe place to make an offer and have a nice house and be safe on the long run too, right? Again, there is no perfect situation, there is no perfect strategy. but I believe that would help most people. By what I've seen in the past year, people trying to buy houses and missing a very good opportunities for things like that. All right, so I hope it helps. Next video I'll be talking specifically about investment property, so click the follow, the sign, or whatever I had to do to keep in touch, and I'll get back to you. Okay, thank you, bye.